Hi Chris, it's Corey with Gant Property Inspections. Just finishing up this home inspection for you up here in Oak Ridge. And so I'm going to do a couple walkthrough videos for you, one on the outside, one on the insides. And so we'll walk around, talk about a few things. But just go ahead and flip this around and just get right in it, okay? Here's the neighborhood. And the house. Looks like the next door neighbor's house is the same style, floor plan maybe. All right, so just looking at the house. I'm not sure if you've been here or if you've done a walkthrough. Hopefully you have, but I'm going to try to show everything either way. The roof is a newer roof. Looks pretty good, except for a few things they didn't do quite right. It looks like they ran out of materials, so they improvised. And then also the plumbing vents, they didn't use any, well, they did use some correct flashing, but they didn't roof around it correctly. And then there's one roof vent, it's missing the correct flashing. But anyway, that's all in the report. Coming down, there are no gutters. Do recommend gutters to collect the rain and get it away from the house, get away from the siding, get away from the foundation. So I do recommend gutters. The siding is mostly a shiplap. The backside has just some plain plywood and some T111 that's been added on the back. We can see right away there's some rot, especially around the windows. This moisture comes down the windows and then hits the wood below, but also right there in the middle. So anyway, it just hasn't been taken care of. Hasn't been painted for a very long time, and not caulked or anything. And missing trim on some of the other windows. Missing windows over there on the far side. That one's just open. I have it open. I'll close it when I leave. This window's boarded up. And before we keep moving around, they've added the skirting. There is a concrete foundation. There is a big settling here in the front. That's the only major problem I saw with the foundation, but it is a pretty big movement. Great big crack there, and this stem wall here has fallen outward. Now there's these holes in the foundation because they have these massive floor beams. I'm not sure if the house was moved to this spot and the holes were there for when they slid it in, or maybe they just left the beams to come out and they did the foundation around them. They've rotted out the ends of the great big beams, and there's pictures of that in the report. But they're massive beams. It's an interesting floor system. Almost looks like it might be like a recycled bridge or something. I'm not sure. I'd be interested to know what it is. But there's quite a few pictures in the report and a couple different areas where you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Here's one of the beams that comes further out. It's also rotten on the end. So I've left these open so you could see, but also you could see this rim joist is rotten and or has some bug damage. And here we just have regular plywood siding and T111 siding here that's never been painted. This is an enclosed porch. They didn't frame it all the way to the edge, which again, this catches water and snow, and it's not a great plan. So it'll eventually rot. Coming over here, we can see the stem wall. This one has a little bit of gap, but that's probably because there's plumbing here. It used to be galvanized. Most of all the supply lines have been changed over to PEX. And there seems to be extra PEX under there, so if you wanted to move things, move fixtures to other rooms even, you might have the ability just to move them. There's some funky plumbing down there, which there's pictures again in the report of drain lines don't look real professional, wouldn't be too hard to fix. And then there's a sink fixture or a valve down there that's right in the middle of the plumbing. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, probably be a good idea to hire a professional plumber to clean it up down there. And if you want to move stuff, it'd be a good time. Okay, let's keep walking around the house and then we'll come back to the shop. So it does have the skirting all the way around, maybe protecting the beams and the outside floor framing. I'm not quite sure what all the thinking was, but that's kind of what I'm thinking might be the case. I've left this panel off so you can see a little more. And there's, again, a little chunkier end of one of those great big beams. Underneath the beams, they've added extra posts throughout, probably over the years trying to shore it up because the floor would sink. The pads underneath the posts are minimal, so they've probably sunk over time too, and so they added more posts, and then they also did some repairs, like under the bathroom and under the kitchen, under the laundry room, where they've added a bunch of posts. Not all of it's great. Could continue just keep improving that over time. Funky foundations or floor systems is pretty common with older houses, especially really old houses, as they try to fix sagging floors. This deck is built right on top of a wood retaining wall. Probably not a great idea. The wood retaining wall will go away, meaning rot down into the ground, and so not a great structure. And then there's no guardrail, and this is over 29 inches, so recommend guardrails, anything over 29 inches. And then back to the front door. The front door is stuck shut. I wasn't able to open it. It obviously needs to be replaced, and so that's that. There's water getting on the front porch, and it's actually, you can see it from underneath that there's some water damage, and it's wet all the way in there in that alcove. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the shop real quick on the outside and then the inside, and then we'll walk through the house. Okay, so the shop's an all metal shop with a metal roof. Power comes in right there. Those guy wires are not very tight, and you can see that the mast is listing some. I'd recommend that would be evaluated and repaired. And this is your main panel here, just has a main supply switch there, or breaker there, and that's all that's in this panel. Then it has two what we call sub panels, one in the shop and then one in the laundry room. Before I leave the roof, so it does have a metal roof. Those are great. You can see I took a picture of a few of the screws that if they're not leaking already, they probably will be leaking, especially in this area. There's a few screws that are not straight down, missing the grommets, and or just completely loose. And then that mast there doesn't have flashing around it. So that's that. Now this added porch is really cool, except for again they framed it right onto a wood foundation, so you have the rain coming off the roof, and then you're eroding the dirt, but also that moisture quickens the rotting of that beam that's on the ground there. So not a great plan for framing to a wood foundation. That's about it on the outside, I think. Take a look around here. Okay. Yeah, so it's a project for sure. Both you and the realtor have said that it's pretty rough, and yep, it's pretty rough. So that's the outside. I'm going to go ahead and start another video, head into the shop, and then back around to the house.